Welcome to part 4 of What If Deku Was Spider-Man. I'll start you off just days after the incident. Rio was happy at Deku's success, and so was Inko. Maria was a little concerned, but she saw the fight and thought Deku did well. Katsuki even gave him a phone call to congratulate him on his debut and press conference. The friendly neighborhood Spider-Man has been fighting crime and righting wrongs for a few weeks now, and was currently on patrol when he gets a call from Herman. Want me to route the call to your internal communications, boss? Deku gave the affirmative. Boss, we got a problem. Cottom is blocking my acquisition of resources. Great. The bully makes another attempt at ruining Herman. Deku was getting tired of this pretentious fool. Get proof of his interference and I'll fire him on the spot. That is against company guidelines, especially since my lab is in a higher priority than his. Deku was not joking. Bullying is not tolerated in Oscorp, and this was the very definition of it. No one would think it odd that the company hero was talking about Oscorp guidelines and firing someone, but Deku and Spider-Man had that power. They just needed a reasonable cause, and Cottom has shown his ugly rear on this one. Looks like Deku finally gets to fire him an ugly dwarf. If that wasn't enough of a hint, you'll probably find out soon, eventually. Spidey was about to call it a day when his spider sense went off. He dodged in the nick of time and managed to grab an arrow. His assailant was gone. It was clear that whoever shot that arrow didn't intend to hit him, since there was a message on the arrow. It reads as follows: "Meet me at Tokyo Tower. We've got a lot to discuss." An emblem we're all familiar with was emblazoned on the parchment. Well, crap. I was hoping to avoid this for a little while. Boss, you better go. You know how he gets when someone tries to ghost him. Oh, he knew full well how bad that gets. And with that, Deku swung his way to the metro and got on a ride to Minato City. In costume, so just so you know. Now, he was stopped for selfies while in the train, and he obliged to them. He actually liked the attention to a point. It's nice that people like him enough and like what he's doing that they're calling him out. Feels nice. Feels slightly rewarding. Hell, he even got offered some takoyaki that he refused. He had a mission to get to the tower after all. Now, with said tower in sight, he swung as close as possible, then ran up the thing and crawled into the observation deck via the elevator shaft, all while being invisible. Something was off, however. There were no tourists. Of course it was closed off. His connections have connections. Spider-Man, I assume you've made it inside. Would you please stop stealthing? We get your point. Stop flexing. A female voice called out. Hi, Miss Hill. Deku let himself be known, and his spider sense went off. Do not sneak up on a spy. You hear me, boy? Maria had pulled out her gun and then reholstered it while scolding him. Yes, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am, he said while still wearing his mask. You can remove the mask. Everyone here has seen you without it, Izuku. Deku conceded defeat. Okay, Dad. That's right. His father is none other than Nick Fury. How many of you saw this one coming? To be clear, Maria Hill is his godmother. He was only calling her Miss Hill just in case someone else was, well, listening. Otherwise, he'd just say Auntie Maria. I assume you've got some level of shield work for me to do. Nick smiled. His son had assumed correctly. Not here. Get in the elevator. Nick swipes his shield ID and they gain access to further floors down below. Deku is walking behind his dad, and the resemblance is uncanny short of the green hair. He looks more like Inko, however, but right next to Nick, it's obvious that they're related. Once again, minus the green hair. Facilities containing dangerous weaponry have been hit. Not quite the level of your Black Vault, but damn close. Now, I've informed All Might, Eraserhead, and Endeavor about this and told them to be on the lookout. But I'd like this to be done in a non-public manner, if possible. That's when Deku puts 2 and 2 together. But Lyra took the words from his mouth. How many of your locations were hit, Mr. Fury? Nick furrowed his brow. More than I'd like to admit. Oh, and by the way, Lila's been docked at the very briefing table they're using. So she's talking to them as well. That's how. More than I'd like to admit. Relax. This isn't going to be Homecoming cut and paste. No. That's a little too simple. Nick goes through the stolen items and admitted that they seemed random to him. So, you didn't need Spider-Man. You needed Izuku. Deku was a little in the dumps that all his dad needed from him was his brain, but it was to be expected. After the Nomu, the most action he had was basic thugs. Why would S.H.I.E.L.D. ask for some new guy to swoop in and save the day? He felt like an idiot. We all know Maria Hill is a no-nonsense person, but this is her damn godson we're talking about, so give me this, please. As if she read his mind, Maria gave him a hug. It's all right, baby. We do need you, just not in that sense. Yet. Nick and I have high hopes for you, and we don't want the agency accusing us of nepotism. So you've got to get big before you can help S.H.I.E.L.D. as a hero. We need you to be a different kind of hero in this instance. Okay, baby? Maria said the words that Nick just couldn't bear to say to his son. He loved him, and now that he was a hero, had big plans for him. But he'd have to have him earn his place in those plans, lest he be replaced. Deku took a look at the board. A particle accelerator from Pimtech, one of Tony's arc reactors that still had some juice, and son of a... It could be one of two things. The first is a native energy bomb. Nick started to make scramble command before Maria stopped him. Deku wasn't done yet. And the second is most likely, if this is who I think it is, dude's trying to make a genetic recombinator of sorts. If I'm correct, that is. I need to call Tony Stark right now. Nick authorized the call. Tony, you still got that particle tracker you made too? Deku was cut off. Living Laser's back, isn't he? Since you're calling me, I'm going to assume you're at the Tokyo location. Deku was kind of pissed that his best friend knew about the base before he did, but she was a friggin' Iron Maiden. A Quinjet landed a few clicks away, and an odd pair was seen walking about Tokyo just touring. They went into the elevator from Tokyo Tower and went straight down to the headquarters floor. Tony Stark and Roberta Rhodes hugged Deku. "It's good to see you again, Izuku. I get that you're doing your thing in Japan, but don't be a stranger, yeah? We're supposed to be the three amigos." Roberta giggled a bit at that last line. Deku made for a chair to man a computer station. "Where the hell are you going, Spider-Man?" "This is going to be a group mission. I don't think Laser was doing this alone. I called your aunt. A few Oscorp locations got hit too." Deku's eyes go wide. Tony assures him that the Black Vault is perfectly fine. These criminals weren't that stupid. That and the knowledge of the Vault was limited to basically everyone in the room, plus a few others. Deku would have said that he didn't need her pity, but he knew her better than that. Tony actually wanted his help, and she'd get it. "Oh yeah, take this." Tony tosses Deku 2 small blocks. He already knew what to do with them. Placed them straight in, well, the gauntlet section, which is on his arms, which those gloves, I'm gonna say, are where he inserts his, well, like webbing. So he just added it to the web rotation. Lila's the one that works on the deployment for that, in case you guys haven't figured that out. I don't think I told you, so there we go. Induction webbing. Very nice. Tony probably designed that so you could web up the laser. I'll work on possible upgrades to our equipment. Layla was on the ball today, and Deku loved it. Any ideas who our guy will hit next? Roberta asked. They had no idea. Searches indicate that Hammer Tech has come into possession of vibranium, most likely illegally attained. That sounds like a good target, boss. I mean, who doesn't want vibranium? Lila, you're beautiful. I don't care if it's possible or not. She blushed at that, and Tony snickered. Deku's Lila was a tad on the human side, and she even had a body to boot. That gave her a slight one-up on Jarvis, I guess. Wait a minute. Is that... Deku shushes her and says yes. She's modeled after Marilyn Monroe. In the Quinjet they go, and our group of heroes make their way to the Hammer Tech building. Hopefully Justin Hammer is nowhere near there, since I can't be too nice here. Antoinette Stark and Roberta Rhodes, Iron Maiden and War Machine, with none other than Spider-Man by their side. I'm so honored. Justin drops the pompous act once he sees Nick Fury. Commander Fury, to what do I owe the pleasure of you and your one superpowered friend and these armored ladies? Ugh, I hate Justin Hammer so much. And so does the trio, by the way. Save the pleasantries, Justin. We have reason to believe that the vibranium that you've come into possession of is in danger of being stolen. And last I checked, you were on the Living Laser's hit list as well as these two here. All he had to hear was that name and he caved. Justin was too beautiful to die. Ugh. They get to the vibranium just in time to see a being of purple energy leave with the vibranium. Was that? Tony started. Spider-Man finished. Simon Williams. Tony, I think we got the wrong energy guy. I'm gonna try to catch him. I have an idea what he's trying to do, but if he's off by even a little bit, it could be bad for him and Tokyo. You stay back. All you'll do is aggravate him. He doesn't understand that you were just trying to keep his business afloat. Yes, I'm going with Earth's mightiest heroes route for Wonder Man in this instance. Spidey catches up with Simon rather quickly. Simon, stop! I know you'd want to be normal again, but this isn't how you do it. One wrong calculation and kaboom! Please, man, let me help you. Simon wasn't buying it. Why should I trust you? You're safe behind your mask, while the world calls me a monster. Deku sighs. Come on, bro. There are people with worse quirks than that, and you know it. But if you can't trust Spider-Man... Lila, disable all cameras. Already done, boss. Deku unmasks briefly, and then puts it back on. Then how about Izuku Midoriya? Simon, we were lab buddies. Let me help you. Just like old times. There was no one to whisper in his ear and stoke his paranoia, so he trusts Deku. Now I need you calm. Iron Maiden and War Machine are down there. If you want, I can have them shove off and return with everything you've stolen. It's sort of the Oscorp stuff. If you truly need that vibranium, I can have Fury talk to King T'Chaka. But everything else that isn't Oscorp tech has to go back to where it belongs. We can come up with a way to fix this together. Williams accepted those terms, and we fade to a SHIELD detainment center turned lab. They really thought I was that Yahoo. I guess I do give off a similar energy signature. Simon laughed at that one. He made a deal with SHIELD to avoid jail time. He hadn't hurt anyone and was only trying to fix himself, so he got off with the SHIELD equivalent of a slap on the wrist. A few weeks' detainment in a facility that had a Deku-level lab. Nick pulled his son aside. Well done, my boy. You've saved the day without violence and proven that you have great power in mind, body, and heart. Now remember, I don't think I even need to finish that sentence. Now I've got a poll for y'all. Deku's gonna fix Simon no matter what. But this'll add to a bit of flavor text that may make it longer or make it quicker. Does Simon allow Tony to help and assure that this goes quickly? Or does he keep that chip on his shoulder and be stuck in energy form for, well, possibly the story equivalent of a few months? Either way, this shall be fun now that I've revealed who Deku's father is. See you next time.